What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 7th day of October, and here we are sitting at about $125,000. We have 11 hours left in the day here, and we are not really doing too much, right? We're pretty neutral. I think that we're at an area where we're looking to consolidate. We definitely could consolidate around here. We could push a little higher for us to consolidate, but we're definitely getting to a point where we're going to see some sideways action take place. Okay, and if we look at the liquidation levels here on BTC, Bitcoin liquidation levels over the past 30 days, there are a ton of longs piled on. It's $19 billion in longs piled on, which is pretty nuts. We typically cap off around 20 billion, 19, 22 billion, whatever, something in that kind of area. But over the past 24 hours, the shorts are still outweighing the longs. Understand, guys, every damn day, we've been pushing to new relative highs, and then now new all-time highs. And we have multiple billions, several $billion in shorts every single day. We're going to keep moving up until that goes away, until there's like less than $1 billion in shorts. That's when we're going to keep or stop moving up. So I do think we have a little bit higher to go first, but we're definitely in this area where we're going to consolidate. And remember, back here we started talking about the idea that this was a W pattern. And if it is a W pattern, typically W's don't stop until you get above where they started. Once you get above there, then you kind of move sideways, you consolidate, and then we look to break out higher at a later date here. So we're gonna do some short-term analysis. We'll see what we're looking like we're doing. Are we moving up right now? Are we moving down right now? Are we moving sideways? Is this the moment? I highly doubt that if we pull back down, I highly doubt that we go below 117,000. 118,000 even seems unlikely, but 117,000 likely holds. But I don't expect that we're going to do that just yet, right? I don't think that that's the end game, the goal here. I think that instead we're probably going to move up a little bit more, and this consolidation phase might be a little bit tighter. So let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. I don't know if I said it, but hit the like button if you're enjoying yourself. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Definitely looking positive here overall. You kind of are rounding off, right? It's like your lows. If I'm connecting the dots, it's like you're rounding off a little bit. You could be forming some kind of relative topping pattern. Moving up with some volume, but then here you were selling off with some volume as well. So that's kind of indicative that you might be at a relative high. But let's just see. Let's look at the indicators here. The RSI is in a downtrend. We do have lower highs and lower lows, or lower highs here, lower lows there. We're moving up, but if we find resistance, what I will say is notice how each time here we're getting overbought, and now it's like we're getting less overbought. If we come up and we reject the overbought zone, or we get into it and then we come out of it immediately, if we reject the overbought zone, if we get something like this or lesser, I would think that is a stamp of approval that we have found a place to consolidate, right? So perhaps what we do is we move up a little bit and then we come back down and we close. Perhaps what we do is we move up a little bit and we don't even get to a new high, whatever it is. But if we reject this overbought zone, we likely will be consolidating in this area here. Something in this kind of, whoop, I was trying to draw, it just deleted. Something in this box here. If not, maybe even something a little bit more pronounced, right? It could be a little bit lower, and that's fine. Something between 121K and 126K might be what we're doing. Let's just see. 1 hour RSI looks like it wants to come down. Stochastics are getting into the overbought zone, which is nice. The MACD is actually at an area that we have found support at the last couple of times, right? You found support here. You found support here, near the zero here. Might be doing it here as well. You do have a bit of a downtrend, though, in your oscillators as well. 4 hour time frame. The 4 hour RSI is also in a downtrend. Lower highs and lower lows. Stochastics as well, and the MACD as well. We're moving up now, but we got 3 hours, 4 minutes left in this 4 hour candle. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Look at it this way too, right? On a 4 hour period, you had a lot of volume, or you had a lot of volume here, not so much volume here, and more volume came in, but you didn't really go anywhere. Sure, you got a higher high, but you didn't really go anywhere. Things are tapering off, right? Notice how the move at first was like this. It was like this. The pace even picked up, and now it's kind of dying off. Now the pace is dying off. You see it? You see how we're rolling over a little bit. I would think then it doesn't mean that we can't go higher than this high, but I would think it might be a slower pace. We start to roll over. If we see a slightly higher high than this, it'd be at probably like 127 to 128K, if I remember correctly. Let me just see here. High to low. 120, yeah, 127 to 128, just over 128K. Something in this area might be where we go. It's pretty uncommon to stop right here where you're stopping, but uncommon things happen. I would think that you do see something like that, and then you probably come back down. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Maybe let's look at these shorts too. Where do they get liquidated? 127, 128. Yeah, basically that cliff gets cleared out at 128K. So right in that area makes sense. That's probably where we're going to go, and then that'll likely happen today or early tomorrow. But I bet it happens today, and then we'll probably come down. My expectation would be if we're topping off here, we'll consolidate between there and the 1414 at 122K. At the lowest, 120.6K, something right there. So something in this area is what we'd expect to consolidate in, between about 128 to 120.6. And we probably move sideways for the rest of the week and maybe even going into next week. That's when altcoins would really start to rally. So if we're looking at altcoins here, we haven't really seen them start to rally yet on the weekly time frame, right? We're just consolidating still. We're at this point where we have a flat top, ascending lows. You're about to break. The pressure's building. You're about to break. And whenever you move up, you're not going to stop at these high points. You're going to rally to new highs. And you're also going to see new all-time highs overall. So, I mean, you're ready to break on several different fronts. We're going to see altcoins come to life. And typically in alt season, we see Bitcoin run, then we see altcoins run after Bitcoin consolidates. So if it starts to consolidate here over the next couple of days, which I think it will, and then maybe going into next week, that'll be really good for altcoins. Again, this lower high, lower low trend in the RSI right now makes me think that Bitcoin does have lower to go. Typically, these trends end in the oversold zone with some bullish divergence. The way that I have it drawn here, that puts us in Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. That'd be about a week of consolidation. Now, I'm not drawing it the best. It looks pretty appropriate, but it could be earlier that maybe Sunday. It could be later, maybe Thursday, but sometime next week I think is when Bitcoin would probably start to shape up again, because if we're in this downtrend like this, and we probably will be, then I would think sometime next week, that's whenever we start forming our uptrend. We start to like change things going on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's whenever things build that bullish divergence, and then we start to move up higher. But in that time that the RSI is moving down, that doesn't mean Bitcoin's just moving down that whole time. That's not what's happening. It could, but probably not. It probably just moves sideways. Stochastics also have a bit of a downtrend here. You can see it, right, with your eyes. And while it is bullish overall because you are bouncing off the 50, you're kind of doing the same thing with the RSI, which is you're getting overbought, now lesser so, and if you come up here and you reject it, you don't even get overbought. That would be the validation I think that we need to show that this is the point at which we're going to consolidate. So again, just because of the amount of shorts that there are, I have a little bit of a inclination to believe that we go a little bit higher. We might get one like wick pump up to clear out all these shorts, and then we move down, right? It's too juicy not to take a bite. We're probably going to take a bite. Now, do we clear all of them out? If we do, that's about 128K. Do we just hit the surface, at which that's 125, 126.5, 127K? Move through it a good bit. That'd be 127K actually. That would clear out about $1.8 billion in shorts. Time will tell. We'll see. I think we push a little bit higher, and then we move lower. MACD also in a downtrend, building bearish momentum. Overall, very bullish though. Overall, very, very bullish. But the signs are there. I think the signs are there. Looking at the daily time frame now, it's just super common. It's very, very common in these W patterns to consolidate right above like that. And again, we can probably find several examples of that here. I mean, again, just in this sense here, here's your W. Where'd you go? You went just above where the W started. Then you started consolidating, and then you moved up. And this is a much larger W than what we're dealing with here, so the consolidation phase was a lot larger as well. It's not flawless, but typically, right? Here, depending on where your W started, did it start here? Did it start back here? I don't know. Either way, you moved up just above where the W started. You started consolidating, except here you had a negative reaction. here you have a W, clear as day, right? Clear as day with the W. You moved up above where the W began, and you started to consolidate, right? Like that. It's just very normal. It's very, very typical behavior. So it doesn't have to be right here. It can go a little bit higher, but something in this area. Again, I think we nailed it on the head here with this fib. We're going to consolidate between 127, 128K, somewhere in this area. Let's say 128K and 120.6K. The lowest I would give us is probably $116.8 thousand. That'd be the lowest that I'd give us if we were to go that low. That'd be the lowest. What do these longs look like over the 30-day period? A lot of them get cleared out. $10 billion in longs if we get down to that $116.8 thousand level. So very possible to go that low. I don't think we do. I think those longs are shaky. They're not just going to stay there. I think if we move down like $5,000, that would scare enough people out anyways. But probably between 120.6 to 128K, this area is what we're going to do for the next week. We're just going to consolidate. Maybe even 2 weeks. Who knows? The longer the better. The more we consolidate, the more time altcoins have to rally. And then whenever they consolidate, Bitcoin starts to rally. And then whenever it consolidates, altcoins start to rally. That's how alt season works typically, okay? So prepare yourselves. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Somebody was asking me, would it be smart to move your funds around from place to place, from coin that's pumping to coin that's pumping? And I said, in theory, every cycle I've told myself that would be the smartest thing to do. This is my third bull market, but every cycle I just can't seem to pull the trigger with that. It would be smart to sell the things that are pumping and then buy the things that have not pumped yet, and then they pump. It sounds smart in your head, but I think the best thing to do is just hold. But if you can't time it properly, this Bitcoin rotation especially is very useful. Bitcoin pumps, then it consolidates. You sell your Bitcoin, you rotate it into altcoins. Altcoins pump, then they consolidate. You put your altcoin gains into Bitcoin, and back and forth you go. It's pretty flawless. At least every single cycle, it's been pretty flawless. Anyways, I don't have anything else that I want to say. Ultimately, I think Bitcoin has a lot higher to go. I don't believe that this is the top. Whenever I say we're going to consolidate here, I don't think it's going to be like this. It's not going to be like this. It's certainly not going to be like this, right? We're not going to consolidate for a very long time. We're in a momentary high in a move that's going to be overall a lot larger by the end of this month of October, if not going into November. We've got a lot of growth to go in a very short amount of time. Ultimately, Bitcoin, we're expecting you to go to anything from about $160,000 to $180,000. If not by the end of October, then sometime in early November. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I've said it all. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves and plan accordingly. All right. Take care. Bye.